Hi everyone, welcome back to As Seen In.
Welcome back.
I'm so excited.
Okay, yeah, Tattie's excited, I'm excited, we're all excited, and we started recording and then we fucked up, so this is why I'm stumbling a little bit. But basically, last week our episode was King Richard, so if you haven't watched that already, go watch it right now. And if you don't follow us on Instagram, you should follow us on Instagram because Tatty runs on Instagram. She posts the reels to Instagram, and obviously King Richard is about Venus and Serena Williams. Yeah. And we yesterday had 2 likes on Instagram from Venus Williams herself. So
the queen herself.
It was the boost we needed.
Such a boost.
And now we're just really happy about it.
So As Seen In is Venus Williams approved.
It is Venus Williams approved, so get your little ass over to Instagram right now and follow us.
But yeah, what are we doing today?
Today, we're talking about a film, obviously, duh, called Last Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho, yeah. Edgar Wright's movie.
Edgar Wright, who's done loads of
He's done
good
so much
stuff in the past.
I'm really a fan of him.
Yeah.
What was your initial thoughts?
No, the thing is, I don't like this because you always ask me first, and today I want to ask you first because I was watching this movie, and every time something happened, I was thinking about what you were reacting to it as, and it was making me laugh. So you saw it in the cinema, right? I didn't. It stopped being in the cinemas near me, so I had to watch it online. Whatever. Don't tell the police. Yeah. And I was just sitting in my bed watching it thinking, oh my God, I want to know how she reacted to this in the cinema so bad.
Okay.
So I will ask you first, Tatty.
Okay.
What did you think about the film?
I really enjoyed the film. And when it first started, I was like, I really don't know if this is going to be my type of vibe, but I'm going to give it a chance because it's Edgar Wright and I'm a fan. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was expecting it to be more gory than it was because it was like strong bloody violence. 18. Yeah. I was like, oh,
I don't know why it was 18 actually. Well,
exactly. I would have said 15 max.
I guess there was quite a lot of like, you know, when they call it like a slasher film, but I don't think it was like terribly gory.
It wasn't. There was like maybe 20 minutes of the film in total that was like that. So I was going into it expecting some like Saw kind of really gory movie, like, oh, this is not my vibe. But I'd say it was more of a thriller than a horror.
Yeah, I would say that. It was definitely like a thriller.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I am so happy I didn't watch the trailer before because I watched the trailer just before we started recording and it gave everything away.
Yeah, it was
the whole plot trailer was in the trailer.
I'm so shocked that you liked this film.
Really?
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Okay.
Like, I thought that you were going to come to this meeting or whatever this is we've got going on and slate it.
Really?
Yeah.
What about it did you think I wouldn't enjoy?
Well, like, I did enjoy this film, but the entire time I was watching it, I was like, am I enjoying this? Like,
no, I get that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't
100%.
tell. I'll get into that, but I don't know. For me, or what did I think you wouldn't enjoy? That was the question. I don't know. I mean, it's not like the typical movie you go for. You reach for the kissing booth, so I didn't know how you'd feel about this.
That's why I was like, oh, I really don't know if I only watched it because it was Edgar Wright. Yeah. There was nothing else about it that enticed me, but I'm so happy I did watch it.
I don't know. I just thought, I mean, I don't want to give too much of the plot away because we're trying not to, but also like we're also reviewing it, so like whatever.
Yeah, we kind of have to. If you want spoilerless clips, go to our TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, TikTok and Instagram. We won't post any of the spoilers, but you know, like the ghost faces, I just thought that I don't know, like I wasn't really I know it was supposed to be like kind of a horror, but it wasn't scary. Not that I wanted it to be scary, but it was. Sometimes I was literally looking at those ghost things and I was like, this is humorous, and I hate when I feel like that, about something. Do you know what I mean?
I agree with the ghost thing. I didn't like the ghosts just because it was like not very realistic, and I know ghosts aren't realistic, but I feel like so many movies have done the ghosts
like the
better.
Morphed faces. I was like, this is not working for me.
But she kind of explained why the faces were
morphed. I did get it. Like it, I liked how it came about full circle at the end. There was some bits that didn't sit particularly right with me.
I wanted to ask you about that full circle at the end.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if it was a cliffhanger or if it was full circle.
No, I think that was full circle. I mean, when she saw Anya, I love Anya, by the way. Oh my God, I love her. But when she saw Anya in the mirror, I think that was meant to be like, it wasn't supposed to be like, oh shit, here we go again. It was supposed to be like full circle, like her taking control and her like, because you know when she like did the little boop on the mirror, I was like, okay, this is nothing, like this isn't a war-full thing. From what I took from it, it was just like her not being afraid of that anymore.
Okay, so what was the stuff you didn't like, you were about to say?
Didn't sit right with me particularly. Like it did at the end, it kind of worked itself out, but obviously Edgar Wright being male and directing a film that's quite heavily like about sexual assault, I guess, and like sort of that. Some bits I thought he was kind of trying to victimize the woman. So like when the old lady at the end turned bad, I was like, this is why I'm concerned that it's gonna end in her being the villain when she's the victim. But then he did kind of bring it back with what's her name? Anya? Not, I know her name's not Anya, but with her not helping the ghost. Sandy, because
Eloise.
Eloise. So yeah, okay, I was worried because I was like, shit, they're making the old lady the victim, or Sandy the victim, which I don't like, and I thought it was going to kind of end with her
villain?
Yeah, the villain, sorry, just killing everyone or whatever. But then when the ghosts were asking for help, and I was like, in my head I was like, if she does this is so bad as a film, because they've just made the villains the victims, and I was worried that she was going to call the emergency services out. Although maybe she should have done, because she was getting stabbed, but metaphorically, I was happy to see that she ended up not helping.
Yeah,
obviously they shouldn't have been killed, la 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 la. There's lots, you can go into it way deeper than that, but that's where I was worried it was going, and I'm glad it didn't go that way, is what I'm trying to say.
Do you know what I loved?
What did you love?
The beginning scene. I feel like Edgar Wright has his really signature opening scenes.
Yeah.
Just like, have you seen Baby Driver? So the way when he's walking and he like does this, he like puts his hand, he's like mimicking the picture behind him in Baby Driver, and he's like listening to the music, and then it fades into the real movie and there's listening to the music in the movie. They did that in this movie too, which I loved, with like, is it Audrey Hepburn in the back?
Yeah, I think it was.
And she was like mimicking her with the long cigarette or something.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, I was like, so classic, like so clearly Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
So I really liked that, and how like the sound was playing such a big part in the movie again, because that was one thing I took away from Baby Driver about like how good the sound design was.
The soundtrack for Baby Driver is so sick. I was listening to that for months after that.
Absolutely. One of the only movies that I was actively listening to the movie soundtrack. Yeah. So I really appreciated the sound in this too. Yeah. But Ellie was giving me really like Jenny Humphrey vibes in the last half of the movie.
That is so accurate, actually, now I'm thinking about it. That was so accurate. She looks like a lot of different people, that actress. Yeah. She looks a lot like Abigail Breslin when she wears the black eyeliner. I was like, this is so strange. They look so similar.
I honestly was like, why does this girl look so familiar? Yeah. But then it kept changing throughout the movie.
I was like, and Jenny Humphreys, that's so accurate as well, with the eyeliner and the blonde hair.
The raccoon makeup.
Yeah, so true.
I was gonna ask you, did you understand why she was seeing ghosts? Because from what I understand, her gran like mentioned it in the start, but there wasn't really any explanation as to why she was seeing them.
All I took from that part of it, because that wasn't really explored actually at all, I just took that she was seeing her mum after her mum died, and then that was just like almost like a PTSD, like a trauma thing. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing though, because it wasn't like, well, I don't know, because her grandma mentioned that don't let it get too much for you again, as if this had happened in the past, as in like it had been a bad thing. Yeah. I understand her seeing ghosts the second time around with the men, because she was staying in the room where they were killed. I get that. That's like a typical horror thing, isn't it, where it's like, oh, you're seeing them because they died in this room, la la la. Yeah. So that I understand. Probably doesn't help the fact that she already saw ghosts with her mum and stuff. So,
but then it's like the scene where she woke up with a real hickey.
Why isn't that explored? That's something I was like, okay, so are we blurring the lines between dreaming in reality now, or
exactly, because it's like either they're ghosts and she's seeing things in her mind, or they're real. But then it's like she's got a hickey from the dream, which is like, I don't know how that, and they never really went more into detail.
They never
about
did,
that.
and that annoyed me so much, because when they first point that out in the fashion class, I was like, oh my god, so sick. We're gonna see what she's actually been doing in the dreams.
Exactly.
I thought there was going to be like a scene where we see her in like a sleepwalking thing, and we don't see her as Anya, but Sandy, we see her as her and what's actually happening and like where she's actually going. But then it turned out to actually be dreams, and I was like, don't bother with the hickey then, because that's like a very false narrative.
Yeah, exactly. But do you know what I loved? How in those scenes where she was Sandy and Eloise, how in the mirrors, in the car window, in the like reflections, she was like both of them.
Yeah, I can really appreciate that. I deep dived so much after I watched this film, because I was, well, not necessarily about the film, but I was just very interested in the actress Thomasin that plays Ellie, because I don't want to be horrible, because I thought it was part of the acting, but I think it might just be how she talks in real life. But I was so jarred when she was talking sometimes. I was like,
I just really want to like go to... I know.
I was like, no, because
it's like you couldn't really hear her.
She could be a good actress. Like, she is a good actress. She's clearly a really well-established... She's whatever. But sometimes I was like, I
know exactly what you mean.
It was like very like round, like I'm trying to think how she Ellie, like why Ellie,
Gran. Yeah.
Jocasta. I was just like, what? Yeah. Please look, but I watched interviews of her after, and she's from New Zealand. So first of all, I was like, yeah, she's literally Kiwi. So I was like, okay.
She's not British.
No, and her Cornish accent wasn't bad, to be fair. Like, it wasn't bad, considering she's not even from England, let alone...
I thought she was from Cornwall.
No, she's from New Zealand. So that, I was like, okay, I'll deduct one of my bad points. Good job. And sometimes when she speaks, she does speak a bit like that. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll let you off. But when I was watching it, I was like...
Okay. Did you think it was like a really big plot twist that the old lady turned out to be Sandy?
No, I knew that from so early on.
Oh, I'm so annoyed, because I was watching that like, I really hope this plot twist caught Kaylee too, because I know I'm more susceptible to things like that. You
are very susceptible. I've watched too many sort of psychological things to not have guessed that. I guessed it so early on, and I was annoyed, but... And I was like, please don't be. And I was like...
No, I was like... What? And then I was like, I hope Kaylee doesn't know.
Do you know when I know? When I knew. Good when I knowed. Was when there was a few times, and when she only called her Mrs. Collins, I was like, there's such a reason she doesn't call her by... I know that it's like, sometimes it's like nice, but we never got introduced to her name. And I knew, I don't know how to explain it, I just knew. When she was banging on the door going... Mrs. Collins, I was like, there's such a reason that she's not calling her by her first name.
The voice is so good. Yeah.
I was just like, oh.
Do you know what accent I do enjoy? And this is I feel like this is a very unpopular opinion. I love the Cockney accent. But only sometimes. Like, it's not, I wouldn't like go out of my way to like hang with a geezer. Oh. But I do enjoy.
That was so ugly. I hated that. Hang with a geezer. But I do enjoy the, couple of cans. Like, I reckon you're a cuppa. All right, do ya? You reckon I'm a cuppa?
Yeah.
So,
but it works with them for some reason.
I get it.
And
in the 60s, for some reason, it was a bit more passable. But if someone
darling
spoke to me like that now, I'd literally be like...
No, but I find it quite endearing.
Do you?
Yeah, like...
I can't help but find it really not endearing. Like, I don't even know why, because maybe that's a mean thing to say, because obviously it's your accent. I think it's just... I don't love when people say, like, darling, and like...
Darling. It kind of reminds me of the Essex accent as well. I know they're very different, but I enjoy the Essex accent.
It kind of just gives me, like... scary vibes, I'm not gonna lie, but maybe that's just me being horrible. Do you know what put me off straight away was the taxi driver when she first got to London. I was this is just not good.
I was just like, okay, you guys are going a bit overboard with this now. Like,
yeah, like, why you got legs for it? It's like,
yeah, it's like,
good lord, like literally shut up,
literally go away.
Yeah.
I was watching that like, ugh.
Yeah,
but it was cool seeing like London romanticized for a bit.
Yeah,
when I was thinking last night in Soho, I was like, oh, New York, because as I said, I didn't watch the trailer.
New York.
Yeah,
so
I was normally in every single movie where the main character is trying to find themselves.
Yeah,
they go to New York.
Yeah, that is so true.
So
that's
I
us,
was
though.
like, no, that's us, and that will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice seeing that like in London, and I was watching it literally in central London and in Piccadilly, and I saw them like going through those places. So it was so crazy. So I really enjoyed that.
I love that for you. Yeah, it was nice to see it like beautiful. It doesn't normally look like that.
Even then, it's still just like London. It kind of feels like you were just watching someone's like vlog of London.
It did.
Because it's, I don't know, maybe that's because it's like our home.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
like,
it's
spent
like
so much
hard
time there.
Yeah, it's hard to picture it in like this romantic way, even though I can appreciate it. Like,
I
can
love
really
London
appreciate
so
the beauty
much.
of London.
Yeah.
But it's hard to think of it the same way I think of New York.
I know, but I think people from New York think exactly the same, but I've seen so many people, and it's trying to not put me off New York, nothing can put me off New York, but I've seen so many people on TikTok that are like, why are people romanticizing New York? And I'm like, oh,
because it's New York. Why are people romanticizing London? I've seen people, I actually get that London is actually quite amazing, but when people move from New York to London, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You live in New York.
But it's like it's been done for them, so I do sort of see it.
Yeah, fairs. What were you going to say?
Sam Claflin appeared in this film for such a short period of time.
Who? Sam Claflin?
Sam Claflin. I was
like, this guy seems so familiar. Was he in like Love, Rosie or something?
Uh-huh.
And then I was something like that. Some rom-com.
Was it Me Before You, I think?
Me Before You.
Or something. And also The Hunger Games and stuff. So he's just been around.
You see, and him with the Cockney accent was nice.
Matt Smith with the Cockney accent made me crease.
Oh.
I was laughing. No, I find Matt Smith quite fit. And I think it's because I'd watched a few episodes of The Crown, like we were talking about before, where he's like Queen's English, plays Philip when he's young.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh my God. And then I was him like, what? Like Sandy? I was like, oh,
Sandy. Yeah,
shit.
I can't even do the accent very well, but I really enjoy it. And I thought Matt Smith's character was going to be the old guy instead of the
you
cop.
Obviously would have thought that because
did you think it was the cop?
No, I didn't know it was the cop, but I didn't think it was Matt Smith because they were playing with that too much.
Okay.
Because they were like alluding to it way too much, and I was like, "There's gonna be something that it isn't." But I didn't think it was the cop. So fair enough.
See, the way you watch movies is so different to the way I watch them. Like I really take them for surface. Like I take what I'm told, and I don't really think too deep into it.
I think too much about it. And it's annoying because it's like then I don't necessarily enjoy it all the time because I'm like, well, I saw that coming.
I feel like
it's really annoying.
I feel like I'm the sort of viewer they have in mind when they're who they're trying to trick or who they're trying to make think a certain way. Like I'm very susceptible.
You're so gullible when you watch a movie. It's so funny.
I'm like, oh, he said that he didn't kill him. I guess he didn't. No, but sometimes I'll think differently. But you really think about things.
And I knew that the old guy wasn't going to be a bad person, even though they were trying to make it so obvious that he was. I was like, it's not, because why would they give in to what they've just pushed the entire movie? Then what are we gaining from that?
Yeah, fairs.
Sorry, Tassie.
I just really thought it was full of twists and turns. I thought it was
the only twist and turn I felt was actually a twist and a turn was that he was that cop, and that wasn't even like a huge part of the storyline leading up to it. The reason that one caught me off guard was because it was so minor, I think.
Okay. Fair.
Like her interaction with Sam Claflin was very small, so like obviously I'm not going to think that deeply into it while I'm watching it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Do you know who I hated? That Jocasta girl you mentioned.
Jocasta. I was literally like, you are giving me Ruby from Sex Education.
Absolutely.
But like before she's nice.
Yeah. But it's just like the typical
nice.
mean girl who's like, you just knew she was going to be the mean girl. I thought she was
strange.
Honestly going to do something to like mess with her dress. Like if she had done that, it would be the stereotypical
Yeah,
girl.
I mean, she did low-key spike her and stuff, so not great.
Yeah.
But, like...
I was just like, ugh.
She never had, like, a redeeming arc at all.
Yeah, I've had enough of those sorts of characters.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so annoying.
Weird.
I don't know why, I just hate meanness.
Yeah.
Like, what... I don't know about you, but I've never met someone in real life who is like that. Me, actually, no, that's a lie.
I have so many people
that's
like
such
that.
A lie. Such a lie.
Imagine I just blurt their names out. People I
like,
literally
why?
went to school with.
What do you gain from being
I always
mean?
tried to see the best in these people, thinking maybe they were going for it, which a lot of the time I guess everyone's going for it.
Yeah.
But I never understood the just like picking on someone for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
I just never got it.
No reason whatsoever. There was a question I had to ask you.
Okay.
And it was, if you could go back to any time period, like the way Ellie went back to the 60s, what time period would it be? Because I know mine.
Don't know. There's so many I would just want to like be around it. Maybe the 70s actually.
Ooh.
I think the 70s. That was like kind of... Isn't that like ABBA?
Yeah.
And like where that fashion is in.
Yeah.
And I...
Disco.
Actually, end of the 60s. Wasn't that Woodstock? 69?
Yeah.
I would have loved to be at Woodstock.
Your
but I would have
room
wanted
right
to
now
be...
is giving all of that.
This is Heather's room, so... But it is. It's very like...
Colourful.
That. It's like hippie, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would have wanted to be like a teenager at Woodstock. So maybe that means I would have had to been born even earlier. But, you know, that I would have
Like
loved to
grown up
enter the
in that
70s
age.
as like a teenager, yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been so sick.
I'm
What about
going
you?
to say like grow up like in the 80s and 90s.
I
Like
knew you
maybe-
were going to say 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like early teens, 80s, like late 80s, and then
Yeah.
my like 20s in the early 90s.
That would be sick, to be fair.
Like,
That would be my other option, I feel like.
Yeah, because I feel like we just missed the 90s. I mean, I was born in
Just.
99, but obviously that doesn't count.
Didn't experience it.
Like, we are naughties. Like, we had our like formative years in the noughties.
Yeah.
Which is gonna,
We
yeah,
did.
which is fine.
Which
like,
was
the noughties
just
are sick.
curbing when things were like changing.
Yeah,
But like we still got the...
which I
We
kind
got
of
a
enjoy.
bit of, you know... Yeah, it was quite sick.
Like,
It's
we
quite
got
sick.
to experience like actually playing outside with our friends instead of
Yeah.
having phones, and then also
Yeah.
the like introduction of the smartphone
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
laptops and stuff,
Yeah.
which is
so
so
crazy.
weird.
So weird, isn't it?
So I'd love to
Like-
go back to that, like have
Yeah.
a Walkman and like have to like have
Yeah.
CDs.
Yeah, with my little headphones. like,
yeah.
I'm just so cool.
so
like my
cool.
CD in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like, obviously.
Because we only used to have them like in the car and at home.
Yeah.
Because iPods
Yeah.
were becoming a thing.
I had
MP3s.
a CD player in my room and I was religiously always listening to my High School Musical soundtrack on that.
Absolutely. I had like
Saying.
one of those little radio things that came with a CD
I just
player.
love them. They're so fun.
Yeah.
So
See,
fun.
we really did grow up in a really sick time, to be fair.
Do you remember? Oh my god, this was my like biggest thing. The like secret diaries that you had to speak to open them.
I had one.
Oh my
I had
god.
one.
I wrote my deepest, darkest,
The darkest.
7-year-old secrets in there.
Absolutely.
And I would be like, sealed with a kiss.
Yes.
And then just close it again. And then I'd be like,
I love those.
You
the
know?
original Alexa and Siri.
so true. So
Oh.
true.
And I love the 60s outfits. Like, we've spoken about this
Yeah,
movie for
true,
so long.
True. I know.
Our episodes are just progressively getting longer and longer.
I mean, what can we do when we've got the content to give?
Yeah. I love the outfits.
Yeah, I just want to talk about how fit Anya is because she's literally
she's gorgeous.
so pretty.
I love
Obviously,
her cheekbones.
everyone's cheekbones. I love her cheekbones.
Her cheekbones are so nice.
She's just got huge eyes and
Yeah,
like
I love her
such
face
a structured
structure.
face.
Yeah.
She's just. Oh, do you know? I was watching an interview of her and Matt Smith though, and it's crazy because they have almost opposite faces. His eyes are very like set in and like has very deep, small eyes, and like his eyebrows are very like almost non-existent, and then her eyes are huge and like whatever, and then same with like lower. He's got a very like rectangular face, and hers is very like I was just reading. I was watching the interview like this is so weird. Like
So
you have
weird.
opposite faces, but both
Love
so
that.
fair. Love them. Love everyone.
that. I also, last point from me. When Sandy was running, why couldn't Eloise catch up to her? No, Eloise was running and Sandy was walking. Why couldn't Eloise catch up? Sandy was literally just walking through the streets.
Do you mean when like she was having that weird montage of like
when
trying to escape the club.
Yeah. So Sandy was like walking through the streets of London.
Yeah.
And then Ellie was like running after
running.
her, but she never could catch up to her.
I don't know. I think isn't it supposed to just be because they're the same person?
Yeah, fair.
I guess. Do you know, actually, another point from me, James and Oliver Phelps were in this film, the bloody Weasley twins.
What?
I knew you didn't catch this, you little slag. Oh.
No, you calling me a slag?
I can't call you a slag. Oh no, this isn't even a family-friendly podcast, so maybe I can call you a slag. You little slag, yeah. Right, the first scene that you see Anya in, when they're doing that coat, they were the bellboys that took the coat on and said, "Are you with a man tonight?"
I did
Sandy?
not catch on to that.
Yeah, and it was both of them because Thomasin was doing it with one of them and then Anya was doing it with the other, so it wasn't even like a mirrored thing. They literally were filming it, like doing each other's movements and stuff, and then obviously they're twins, so it worked.
Oh my gosh, the more you know.
So mad. I know. We actually know.
Oh, so sick.
So that was cool.
What would you rate it out of 10?
I don't know. Like I said, I was so struggling when I was watching it to work out how I was feeling about it. So I don't know. Maybe like 7.5.
Oh.
I know that seems low. It's just because I think if you're going to try and make it scary, and it wasn't scary.
Okay.
It was almost like, and I just predicted too many things.
You're right. In terms of what it was meant to be as a horror, I don't think it like was the best horror. Yeah, but it was good for something else. Like it was a great thriller. Yeah,
and it was also really like pleasing to look at. I loved the costumes and everything. So for what it is, I liked it. But some of the things just, you know.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5 because it's something I would watch again purely to see what I missed out on or to see if I could pick up something else, because as you obviously like picked up a bunch of these things, but I always have to like watch these sorts of movies twice, and because I want to watch it again, I guess it means I enjoyed it more.
No, that makes you that's so good.
I would have said 8, but I'm gonna say 8.5 just because I would watch it again just to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like
I do like doing that actually.
Such a fun review. Guys, make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Why did I just glitch?
You really glitched then. I was like,
Instagram,
what else?
Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, not Snapchat. So sorry, I'm really...
You were lying.
Really
you were lying so much.
Just everywhere you listen and watch podcasts.
Snapchat could probably be the only thing we don't have.
Yeah, Snapchat's the only thing we don't have.
Snapchat, yeah.
But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. Let us know what you thought. Send us a voice note. Leave us a comment. You know the drill.
You know the drill, honestly. Sorry my hair's wet and I've been playing with it the whole time. It just looks really ugly. But it's fine, because if you're listening to that, you won't even know. Yeah. Oh, thanks.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will catch you next time on Nasinin.
Bye.